Joining me now live is CNN safety analyst David Susi, a former safety inspector for the Federal Aviation Administration. Welcome to the show. So we don't know what caused this, but you know as much about this kind of stuff as anybody. When you look at that, what do you think it is? What are the possible causes?
Well, as Pete had mentioned too, there was a previous incident in 2018, just happened to be the same model exactly as this one, the 737NG. So it's a model 700, and it had the same CFM engines in it that are manufactured by Safran and GE. So those two engines, the last one that we investigated was the Southwest Airlines in 2018. And so what happened with that is a piece of the shrapnel from the engine, when it had an issue with the engine, the blade came off, went over, hit the windows, fractured the window, and caused it to decompress. Now, in that situation, it was at full altitude. It wasn't just at 16,000 feet. So that one was not survivable for the passenger. But in this case, it was. Another thing, too, is that this passenger had his seatbelt on. We always talk about having your seatbelt on if it's a turbulent air or something else going on. We don't think about that. The seatbelt was critical in this situation in a catastrophic failure of this sort.
So, I mean, obviously, wear your seatbelt is one of the lessons from this. When I've been on a plane, I never thought, okay, what do I do if the window opens? But now I'm thinking that. I'm sure other people are thinking that as well. Like what should you do in this sort of situation? If you're in that guy's situation, if you're sitting nearby, what do you do?
Well, unfortunately, if you're in that situation where you're right next to the window and that happens, you're not going to have a lot of options. The pressures that are pushing the air outward in the aircraft when that window opens is pushing everything out. People always say they're sucked outside, but it's actually the opposite. It's the inside pressures that are pushing people out of the window. So that's what happens there. But it was really heads up for the other passengers to try to bring him back in. And again, fortunately, it was at a lower altitude than the other incident with Southwest. So it was just a really fortunate event for him. It doesn't sound like fortunate, but it could have been much worse, obviously. So, but as far as what you can do inside the aircraft, they did the right thing. The crew members kept their calm. They kept everybody calm. The aircraft was able to make a safe landing. No one was injured other than this man. But just a tragic event. It has to be just, I'm sure he's still in shock over this.
I mean, just a wild, wild story. I know back in 1988, you investigated Aloha Airlines Flight 243. And what were some of the lessons you learned from that maybe changed aviation or that people might think about today?
Well, that incident was entirely different than this one. There was no shrapnel or anything from the outside. What we learned from that accident was the way that we maintain aircraft. As you pressurize the aircraft, it's like a balloon blowing up, and then when you're done pressurizing, it comes back in. So in that case, it had overcycled. In Hawaii, the flights were only 20, 30-minute flights, so it continually cycled and caused fatigue cracks in the metal. So the way that we do inspections on aircraft changed completely after that point. Any kind of corrosion or any kind of fatigue is handled differently. We inspect them differently with X-rays and all kinds of other machines to make sure that we are not overstressing the metal. So that changed everything about how the fuselages in the aircraft are maintained now. So that we haven't had another incident of that at all since that one. Because of the changes that we put in place with the FAA.